Hi, this is Pranav Thakurta with a very famous personality in the Indian education system, Mr. Best, Mr. Trilok Singh Bist. He's a very important resource person of CBSC. He does a lot of trainings. He's always with innovations. Every day you can see him some or the other programs on the social media or on the television. Sir, you have done a lot of innovations in your schools. I also saw on social media that you have started quarantine centers in your schools, and then many other things also. I think you were the first to open up the schools also. Sir, how different, how important, and how useful and how challenging is this digital leadership?
Thank you so much, Pranav, for inviting me to your platform today. And I believe, digital leadership is more challenging and it's very student friendly if you really look at it. I find that, you can reach out to the children at any point of time. You can reach out to the parents. There's no issues of saying that today I don't have the time. 5 minutes a parent can take out on the virtual platform very easily. So what we are doing is we are maintaining through this digital portal. Relationship maintenance has become very important. Maintaining the relations, the teacher has to support the development of relations through a regular conversation with the parents and the legal guardians through the virtual portal. Then acknowledging and respecting each student's individuality. If a child is not able to understand in my regular virtual class, I must have a specific learning pathway for the child that we call as PLPs. And for that, in the evening, I can fix up half an hour with the child. I can easily say, "Beta, can you come for half an hour in the evening?" So that the child doesn't have the learning gap. Next day, when he's in the class, he is able to understand. He got that bridge made between his learning gap. So I think the digital leadership is very important. And I think even after this pandemic, we're going to go for the hybrid mode of teaching where we can see what helps our students. Even our school, even for IIT and JEE mains and NEET, etc., we have our online classes called ZenEdu classes. And
Okay.
those ZenEdu classes are really helping the children. It saves their time and it's very financially very viable. Just 20,000 for the complete year. Whereas if you go to a coaching center, they are also doing online, but they charge around 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh just for 20,000, the kind of benefit reaching out to the children at their doorstep. I think this is the power of digital literacy and digital leadership. And I think to develop more kind of opportunities for the children, we need to create some learning spaces for the children, offering a range of open-ended material for the children, asking the children to give their ideas. That rote learning, the time is gone when the memorization was a key word. Today, the children should be able to understand the concepts and apply those concepts to the real life situations. And that is happening much better in the online mode at the moment. Yes, of course, when we have the offline classes, it will definitely add on more because we'll have hands-on experiences. But even at the same time, digitally also, we have not let the children have the learning gaps in their education, because this is the biggest challenge. There's going to be a huge learning gap with most of the schools, and as a result, what will happen? These 2 years children, they will face the brunt of it throughout their life. Keeping that in mind, DPSG Society has created their own curriculum 20 design 2020, which takes care of the learning gaps of the children. And we've been involving the children in the design and construction of the play areas. Even during the play, we should see, even online, when we are making them go to the channels, sub channels, and discuss on certain problem, quietly the teacher can enter and see what they're discussing, what the child is speaking. Build a clear picture of the student and their interest through their discussion. Identifying what and how the student is thinking and learning. That you can get to know through these discussion rooms where the children are having free discussion with their group of individuals. Assessing the effectiveness of the learning environment on the students' learning can also be done through this digital mode without making the children conscious altogether. When you're face to face or when you're judging them, they get a little conscious. On
Correct.
the online mode, I find that some of the
Very
children who are very, very shy in the school, very introvert, they've also started opening up. Even if they're not putting the video on, they will say, they'll raise their hand and they will speak. Audio will be there. Ma'am, I'm not, I think we can do it this way. I think all these things are really benefiting us. I can say that this is an opportunity which every school should try and take a deep dive into it and try and bring the best for the children in the form of whatever the curriculum design they are constructing for the children, what are the plannings they're doing, whether they are talking about for junior kids. If you talk about pre-nursery and nursery classes, you'll be amazed to hear, Pranav, at DPSG Vasundhara. Pre-nursery classes, also 3 classes are happening, and the children are waiting. Those little kids, 2.5-year kids, they know how to come online. Initially, they had a little hiccups when they
correct.
started in the month of April, but by now they know how to come to their parents don't have to help them. And we are running from pre-nursery to class 5th. We are running the IBPYP curriculum, which is talking about the international mindedness amongst the children. We really want the children to, it should be a student-led class. And this is the basis on the basis of which we are actually making the children understand the things. And these little ones are also coming up with new ideas. They come up with fancy ideas. They can ask anything. They're
Right.
inquisitive, and we have to own up. We have to give them, we have to encourage their inquisitiveness. They should ask more questions rather than rote learn and give the answers. In Indian scenario, you must have seen when you and I were kids, our parents, we used to take a lot of pride in telling, uncle ko ye poem sunao jana beta,
सुना दो.
papa ko ye sunao, uncle ko ye sunao. And all those things were taken as a pride for the parents. But gone are the days. Nobody is going to appreciate the memorization, the rote learning now. We want our children to be the children who are learning by doing. It has to be a joyful experience for the children. They must learn. Experiential learning is something which is very,
Right.
very important today. And I think digital learning is really adding on a lot of feathers to the educational sector. But yes, once we come back to the normalcy, I, as a principal, as a digital leader, would advise that we must continue with this learning which we have done during this 16, 17 months. This learning should not go waste. This is the nature's way of making us learn a lot of new things. We as Indians had been at least 10 years behind the digital literacy as compared to the countries around the world. So I think within the 17, 18 months, we have gone up by at least 10 years of digital literacy. Everything which was lying with us, we were not able to utilize. You see, when you had an interview with me in there, Jammu, you said, will you come on Skype? I said, no, we are not used to Skype. And you had to send a person there in Jammu to take the interview, click it,
Yeah, yeah.
and then come back to you.
Flew there. He
So
flew there. Yeah, yeah.
I think that has been made so easy now. I think this digital literacy, which we have learned during this 1.5 to 16, 17 months, what we have learned, I think it's going to stay with us, and we should stay put so that we don't forget what we have learned during this.
And,
Every experience should
Trilok
teach
sir,
us something. Yeah.
Trilok sir, thank you so much for this. And as your school is a quite privileged one, students have all kind of gadgets at their homes.
Mhm.
Sir, I would like you to advise us briefly on this. There's a huge digital divide in our country.
Yeah.
Students have got gadgets, so they have a challenge of internet because it at least consumes 3,000-4,000 rupees at least a year.
Mhm.
So, what is your advice? How this digital divide can be reduced?
See, we have so many policies by the government in our country. We have the RTE, right to education, that these underprivileged ones are given the free of cost education in the good schools. So I think if every school, each one helps one. If one school adopts, every private school adopts one school, and we can help them very easily. We've done in DPSGB, we have given our gadgets to a orphanage, a school run by the
Great.
NGO called as Dhanak Pathshala. We try to help them. We also tried and helped our other students from the orphanage Robin Hood Academy and all. So whatever we asking our parents, the old mobiles they can give. I told you that I also gave my old mobile, and this child in the orphanage was so smart. He formatted all my contacts from there. So I lost all my contacts because it was in that mobile. That was my old mobile.
Yes,
So I'm
yes,
telling you,
I remember.
there's no dearth of intelligence. They're equally good. Only thing is the opportunity has to reach and knock at
Right.
the door, and that can only happen when every school becomes a little alert one. Each one help one. I think there will not be a problem as such. We can't expect everything from the government. We also have to take initiatives, and this pandemic has really taught us